Today I want to share with you guys our training protocol that we use for crate training dogs when they come in. Now, dogs, for whatever reason, when they don't want to be in the crate, they will bark and whine and tear through any materials you leave in there. They may pee or poop out of frustration. The point is, it doesn't really matter why the dog doesn't want to be in the crate. Just simply put, the dog doesn't want to be in the crate. They're upset and they're making their frustration known to us. So we need to deal with that, and we need to teach them that that's not appropriate. Before this, we've already done work with e-collar. We've taught them what e-collar pressure means, how to turn it on, turn it off, and so they have a good understanding of continuous mode on the e-collar, which simply is you hold on your button continuously until they go back into their command. As soon as they're in the command, you release the button. So the dog starts to understand that their movements, their behavior, their choices dictate whether or not the pressure is on, the pressure is off. It creates a really clear line of communication for the dog, but it also helps the dog understand that their choices dictate the consequence. You have a dog that'll start thinking rather than just reacting to everything. So what you're going to see in this video is we're going to start working through this, and simply put, because the dog wants to come out of the crate, I'm going to open up the door. I'm not going to force the dog to stay in the crate. I'm going to give them the option. I'm going to say, okay, you want out of the crate, come on out. But there's going to be a consequence when they come out because I have not invited them or released them to come out of the crate yet. So we get the dog in the crate. Dog is in the crate, we leave the door wide open and we just see, what are you going to offer to us? If the dog steps out, we do need to be quick at this step. As soon as a foot comes out of the crate, we're going to hold down that continuous button. It's a low level, just enough that they can feel it. At that point, the dog is going to start to go into problem solving mode. They're going to say, okay, I know that when I feel this, I need to do something different. What do I need to do differently? And you're going to see a lot of times dogs will start to move around the room. They'll try different things. They might try to go on a bed. They might try to come find you. Ideally, what we want to have happen is we want the dog to go back into the crate. As soon as all 4 feet are in the crate, the pressure goes off the e-collar. Dog starts to figure out, okay, coming in here gets the pressure off the e-collar. I don't really want to be in here, but I also need to turn off this pressure. They'll probably try again several times where they'll come out, pressure goes on immediately. You wait for them to get back in the crate, pressure goes off. If your dog is really struggling with this, you're going to keep a leash on and you're going to help the dog guide it back in when it does it. But as you get better, the real challenge here is you need to leave the room. So we have this set up where we have a camera facing the dog's crate, and we have, a phone where we can see the video, and we leave the room and we are watching that dog so that as soon as it steps out of that crate, we can hold down that button, dog can go right back in. This is a really, really important piece of the game here. A lot of times dogs will be fine in their crate as long as you're in the room, but when you leave, they start to have issues. And so we need to teach them that regardless of whether I'm in the room or not, or what is happening, you need to be calm in that crate. So doors open, you leave the room, and you watch. Say, okay, what are you going to do? If you stay in that crate and you are calm, I will come back and I will reward you. I will give you treats. But if you pop out of that crate, the pressure is going to go on as soon as you step foot out of that crate. So we've got Penny here and Yuri too. But Penny, as you can see, is really struggling to settle in the crate, and so a lot of times she will just charge out of there. So I want to show you guys how we work on that. So right here, as she steps out, I put the pressure on. I'm on a 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm letting her make the choice for herself. 14. As soon as she's back in, all of the pressure goes away. But this is a girl who really likes to test that boundary because she just doesn't like to be alone. She doesn't like to be separate from us. And so this is how we're working through it. So now I'll go back down to that 10. As soon as she steps a foot out of that crate, we're going to do the same thing. It's continuous pressure. That's what that C means. So I'm going to just hold it down, the stim button here with my middle finger, and then I will just slowly dial up until we find a level that she cares about. No, I'm not pushing it right now. As soon as we hit that level that she cares about and she's in that crate, all of the pressure goes away immediately. So she starts to understand that she can turn off the pressure of the e-collar by simply just getting back in her crate. We'll work through the whining down the road, but right now it's just all about getting her to understand where her body needs to be and that she can't leave that boundary. No. So continuous pressure. She's chosen to run away. So I still have the pressure on. She's trying to play with the ball. So we're up to a 19. She is in, all pressure goes away. Now she took the ball with her. Great, she dropped it. Let me just put that away so it's not a temptation. But this is what kind of gives us a lot. She's giving us very nervous energy. No, as soon as I sat, so I'm at a 19 again. Slowly dialing up. I walk my body back over to show her where I want her to be. Release. If she stays in there, no consequence. Now for her, it's hardest when I walk away. So I'll move around a little bit. Let me get this fan out of the way. But I'll just move around. Sometimes I'll sit because sitting is a very inviting posture. So I'm sitting on the couch right now, just watching and waiting. So foot is out. So pressure on, pressure off. This system really works. I have done it. I have seen it done before. I can't believe I never learned this before, but I'm so thankful that we had trainer out east, Julie's Canine Academy. They introduced us to it. It's been an incredible skill that we've learned and that we can now use to help you guys crate train your dogs. This one does take time, and I want to make sure that you guys really understand that your dog does need to have an understanding of e-collar first. Don't just throw a collar on your dog, toss them in the crate, and expect them to understand what it means. You're going to get a really stressed out, frustrated dog. You need to take the time to introduce them to it first, make sure they really understand it, and then go into this phase of training. Take your time with this one. It is not an easy skill. A lot of owners struggle with crate training their dogs because there's a lot of anxiety involved in just being confined and then being alone. So if you are still struggling through this, get professional help. There are trainers out there that know how to help you through this, and we can. But if you have the tools and you have the ability and the desire to work through it, this is an incredible technique that I wanted to share with you guys.